Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much everything Spence said. I relish in Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex. A lot of people had an issue with it. They saw him as this like uh well, manic Mark Zuckerberg, right? Like he's a spoiled Silicon Valley playboy who is socially awkward and it's like, how is he? Because for those of you who aren't familiar with, excuse me, familiar with like DC Comics in general, Lex is very traditionally like a middle-aged to like older man, bald, who's like cold and calculating and just ruthless in his like execution of a plan. And this Lex was like really went against the grain of like what Lex Luthor typically is. But I don't know. I just loved it. His portrayal is really interesting. I agree that it's like underdeveloped, which is probably the movie's biggest crime because Lex is sort of the. I mean, he does become the villain that Batman and Superman unite against, essentially, and that's why it's just you would want him to be a little bit more compelling for that to be a satisfying resolution to the story. But um, yeah, also like Spencer said, he's like a secondary character. So I'm glad they went deeper, especially in the Ultimate Cut, into um Ben Affleck. Yeah, Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill's beef. But I do hope that he does. I really hope he shows up again someday in this like hopefully HBO Max Snyderverse. Crossing my fingers, we'll get it. Because he had a post credit appearance in Justice League, and it was kind of goofy, but also they shaved his head in prison, so he looked more like the real Lex Luthor. And it's like, there, people, you happy? He's bald. But I'm really hoping we get more Lex in the future of the DC universe. He was really good, and I'd like to explore him more as a character because he's still alive and he's not happy with Superman still. In fact, he's the guy who sets the plot of Justice League in motion because he like FaceTimes with Steppenwolf in the Ultimate Edition of BVS, which is some again another thing that was cut. So yeah, good stuff. And Granny's peach tea, man. There's a whole conversation there about Granny's peach tea, but people hate Granny's peach tea. I think it's goofy and over the top, and I love it. But I'm also so biased for this movie, so don't listen to me.